Welcome to my week 26 and week 27 update of recovering from Ramsay Hunt Syndrome. As you can see, I'm not in the normal chair. I'll talk a little bit about that. Actually, this is the end of 2 weeks of traveling. Talk a little bit about some other things I did and the status of my face and recovery. At the beginning of this 2-week period, I was actually in Canada. I went to Toronto and then north of Toronto to Cottage Country for an event held by a partner, A2X, where they have the best e-commerce accounting conference in the world. And yes, that is crazy niche. But it's a great event. They've done it 3 years in a row. We start out in Toronto and then we take a bus up to Cottage Country where we are networking, learning, and a little bit of recreation. It's a really awesome community they've created with accounting firms from around the English-speaking world. And we built up a lot of friends, did a little kayaking and even swam in a lake. And I'm told there was some karaoke that I was caught on camera with. But the best part is the community they've created and the ability to catch up with so many people I've gotten to know over the years. And it was really awesome because many of them are really supportive. Some of them, like my friend Jeff from A2X, who runs the event, has been a great supporter of mine since I've been diagnosed. So it was awesome to see him in person. The co-CEOs of A2X, Jamie and Jamie, super supportive, really great people. And this whole community had many friends who reached out and told me they've been watching the videos and were just supportive. And that goes a long way when you're dealing with a pretty serious health condition. I was a little bit nervous going on the trip because last year on that trip I got COVID, at least when I came home. So I was doing my best to stay healthy and wash my hands. Didn't get sick from the trip, thank goodness, but it is something that's in the back of my mind now as like a severe COVID or flu. What would it do to me? I'm not too comfortable with the potential outcome of getting sick again. I got home and actually went to a concert. The Hives. Now this one was a little bit different in that it was a stand-up venue, so I was standing the whole time. And that took a little bit of energy, but it was cool. Again, it's fun to live life because 6 months ago, I was not living life. I was just barely surviving. Again, I went to the concert with some friends. So that was a great thing. And now here I am at the end of a road trip. Just got done touring Yellowstone over the last 2 days, getting ready to head home. And I'm here with some of my best friends from growing up. We went to college together. So we had this amazing time together. So you got John, and Derek. We were all over Yellowstone. We saw grizzlies, bison, lots of geysers. It was just really amazing to see all the beautiful sights in Yellowstone, to experience life, to experience nature. It's a really, really healing experience. So here's some of the pictures and video clips. And personally, I'm a big fan of the geysers. I think that's just all the geology is really amazing in Yellowstone. The Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, the waterfalls. It truly is just a wonder of the world and a treasure to be able to see places like that. And again, I feel like it kind of heals you spiritually when you go to those places. All right, let's check in on the health. Let's see if the face is working. As you can see, I'm wearing the moisture chamber this time because I'm outside and I'm trying to keep the eye moist. So the lighting's a little weird. We're going to go ahead and try and raise the eyebrow. We're going to try and close the eyes. We're going to flare the nostrils, puff the cheeks, whistle, smile. I've had to do a lot of smiling, a lot of pictures in the last 2 weeks, and so it's kind of nice to not have some wonky, crazy smile. As long as I don't try and open the mouth and do the toothy smile too much, it kind of works. Other than that, you know, hearing loss is still pretty extreme. I did use some hearing protection at the concert because I'm trying to minimize further damage. I actually used hearing protection in the other ear too. My energy's doing okay. This has been a very demanding couple of weeks of travel and adventures and things like that. And I've been able to do a lot of things. Like we hiked a lot around Yellowstone and I did okay. Balance is a little bit off, but I have yet to fall in the last 2 weeks. There was a point on my trip in Canada where I was kayaking and I was by myself and I got a ways out into the lake and I was like, I'm getting a little bit tired. I better not get stuck out here. But I pulled it off. I was able to get out. I went out to this little island and turned around, and it was a little tiring, but it's good to push yourself. And I'm trying to stay right below that limit of exhaustion. I imagine I'm going to crash a little bit when I get home. All right, interestingly, this 2-week period marks 6 months with Ramsay Hunt Syndrome. And if you've been watching my videos, or if you're new, go back and watch like week 1. And it's such a world of difference. 6 months ago, I could barely walk. I had to use a cane. My speech was extremely slurred and slow. My face was droopy. I was experiencing just utter fatigue, sensory overload. And so I've come a really long way. I've still got a ways to go. The hearing loss, the tinnitus or tinnitus is severe. The facial movement is still pretty limited. And the fatigue is still there, but not nearly as bad as it was. But it's been quite the journey. And part of the journey has been just like this inward journey. I feel like the illness has created an opportunity to grow in a way that I don't think I would have had without the illness. And so in a strange way, I am grateful for this illness because it's given me an opportunity to progress as a person in ways that I wasn't able to otherwise. So the other thing about this last 2 weeks has really been just connection and friends. Connecting in a work setting, in a really great community. Then, you know, a concert with some friends. And now ending this 2-week period with some of my best friends in my whole life. Part of the reason we did this trip is we all turned 50 or are turning 50 this year. So we felt like it was really important that we do something to commemorate this momentous year. And it's been a reminder, I think as a middle-aged man, you realize how easy it is to get busy with work and get disconnected. And part of this illness has also brought connection back into my life. I'm also reminded that there's like an epidemic, at least in an American society, of disconnection. And I feel like these 2 weeks have reminded me how important that connection is. Not just the casual connection you have at work, but actually like spending meaningful time and having meaningful conversations with people you appreciate. And especially like this last trip with my best friends. I'm hopeful that this next chapter in my life, I can do more of that because it's been a reminder of how important that is and how impactful it can be upon people. So to those who have reached out to me personally, either online or in person, to those of you that have engaged in my videos, that have said nice words, comments, feedback, insights, thank you. These things matter. And they've made a huge difference in my recovery and my journey as I've gone through this pretty sucky health condition. So on that note, a spiritual thought. Proverbs 17:17 says, "A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." As I was thinking about a spiritual thought, I thought, this is perfect. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Like, isn't that true, right? A good friend loves you at all times, and brothers are born for adversity. And these guys were some of the first ones to reach out to me when I got sick. And honestly, growing up, we were there through adversity. And I would say if you're going through Ramsay Hunt or something else, connection is key. And friendship is key. So don't suffer alone. Don't feel like you only need to rely on those that are just around you. What I found in my experience is there's a lot of people I haven't talked to in years that have reached out to me and helped me. And you got to lean into that. That was really hard for me because I'm kind of the lone wolf. I wanted to take life on by myself for the longest time, and this experience taught me that you just can't do that, and it's been powerful. So to John, Derek, and John, to all of you out there, I love you. Thank you for all that you guys have done over the last couple months, and honestly, for the 50 years of my life. Life is good. It can be good. It's hard, but I'm happy and grateful for all that I've experienced. So that's this update. If you liked the video, like it, ask me a question in the comments. I will answer all the questions, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Have a good one.